Hi guys, welcome back to The Forgetful Scholar, and this week we're going to chat about books, two books. So I have like a cozy mystery and then an RPG lit or a progression lit. I know, completely out of my wheelhouse, but you guys know I want to try some like new genres and stuff, so I'm trying. So the first one is the cozy mystery. It's Murder Takes the High Road by Josh Lanyon. It is 292 pages. 4 stars. I had a lot of fun. I will say one of my notes said cozy mystery in reverse. So what I meant by that, and I don't know why I'm explaining it because you guys don't see my notes, but because you know every genre sort of has a pacing, right? And the pacing was great in this book. Like that's not what I'm talking about, but like for romance, you know, the first third they meet, the second third you know, whatever they feel for each other kind of goes becomes more, but something gets in the way, and then the third act conflict, and then there's a happily ever after, right? So in cozy mysteries there's sort of like not a pacing, but sort of like, I don't even know how to explain it, stops on a railroad track, I guess. Like, you know, cozy mystery, we meet the protagonist, a murder happens, the protagonist gets pulled into the murder for reasons, and then they figure out who the murderer, and if it's good, confrontation on the page, because I love that shit. You guys know I love that. And then, you know, the book's over and hopefully the mystery was well done. I'm doing vague strokes, but you know what I mean? So this one, I will say, like, the main mystery doesn't happen till like the third act, but I had so much fun leading up to it. And there's a lot of different complications, mysteries that will keep you entertained, right? And I really enjoyed this author. I really do. So the main character is Carter, and he's a librarian. We love that. Yay. And he is on a book tour of this mystery author that he loves, and this tour group stops in a bunch of locations that were used in this author's book series, and then they go to the private island with the author for a couple days to like meet and greet, sign books, get read like the new excerpts of this author's next book, things like that, right? Paranoid me is like, I am going to an isolated island that the only way on or off is through a helicopter or boat. What are you talking about? But that's me. That's me. That's one of my crazy little quirks. Okay. So he's on this trip because he bought it 2 years ago when he was with his ex-boyfriend Trevor. And spoiler, this is an gay romance cozy mystery. When he was with his ex-boyfriend Trevor, who they were together with 4 years. And the thing was, Trevor was a huge fan, but Carter was also a fan of this author. And when they broke up, Trevor like cheated on Carter and all this stuff. And when they broke up, Trevor wanted Carter's ticket for his new boyfriend, who is the guy that Trevor cheated on. And Carter, in a great moment of like stand your ground, was like, no. This is a one-in-a-lifetime trip for me. I want to go. I also am a fan. I'm not giving you on this as well, you know? Which, fair, right? Now that means that Carter has to suffer through this trip with Trevor and Trevor's new boyfriend, which is uncomfortable. And we're in Carter's POV the whole time, and I just found Carter delightful. And I was, because I've read this is the author that does the Pirate Cove mystery, which I love as well, but I was happy to see that Carter is nothing like Ellery, which is they write in a different series. I was happy to see that Carter is nothing like her other protagonists in other series, which I'm happy about. At first you think librarian, he's gonna be shy. He's not. He's like really friendly. He's able to make friends with the other people on the tour. He's personable. He's, you know, charismatic, but he is a homebody. He doesn't really like, he loves his garden and he loves his mystery books, right? And apparently he's hottie because he kept getting hit on by like all the other single men that are gay in the tour, which is like, go Carter, yeah, get you some, like, you know, you're on vacation, have fun, right? Especially since you have to suffer with your ex-boyfriend right there spreading lies about you, which really got me, because Trevor was like saying all these lies to make him and his new boyfriend seem good. Like, obviously you're the bad guy. Anyway, not the bad guy in the story, but the bad guy in their relationship or ex-relationship, right? And like, you really get who Trevor is. He's selfish, he's dramatic, he, you know, horrible. And like at one point, the love interest for Carter, one of the love interests for Carter, which I really like, also his roommate, which fun, forced proximity. Anyway, he's like, what did you ever see in that guy? You know what I mean? And it's interesting going through Carter's POV during this time, because it's been like almost like over a year since him and Trevor broke up, and he's like over Trevor, but it's really interesting walking with him as he like thinks back on the relationship and wondering, did I not see these red flags when I was with him and things like that? And as someone who has done that in the past when, you know, a relationship ended, I'm like thinking back, I'm like, why didn't I see these red flags? Like, why was I so blinded by this stuff, you know? So it's, for me, I was like, it felt very real in that moment, very relatable. This book isn't set up for like a series, which is unfortunate because I really like Carter. There's so many interesting characters on this book tour, which this author does well. They do secondary, fascinating, unique characters very well. And because there's so many people on this book tour, I didn't get confused. I didn't need a chart. I didn't have to look back on like, wait, who's this? Wait, Sally from New Mexico? What? You know, I didn't need that, you know? So I commend the writer for that, because that's probably super difficult, right? I would imagine, to make all these secondary characters rememberable enough that in this huge kind of group you don't get confused. I feel like that's impressive, right? So the love interest, last name Knight, I believe his first name is John. Yeah, John shows up last minute. They have to share a room together, and there's a lot of mystery surrounding him. So much fun. I kind of like clocked it, and I think if you read this, you kind of clocked like vaguely what he is, you know, what's going on. I liked their chemistry. I felt like their romance was a little rushed, but also I don't think this is going to be a series. I think this is one-off, which is disappointing, because I would love to read the adventures of Carter and probably John, their misadventures in a series. I would enjoy that. So like I said, there's a bunch of mysteries going on to the island, and then there is a big old mystery that I will say, confrontation with the page. Thank you. I will say at one point during the confrontation and like a physical fight, I did have to read that page once or twice, because unfortunately it wasn't clear exactly what was going on for me. I had to read it a couple times to be like, oh, okay, so that's what's happening. So that's the only reason this isn't 5 stars. Like that moment I was like, wait a minute, wait, I have to go back, wait, I have to go back, wait, no, I just read it, but it's not making sense, let me do it again, you know? So for me, that's why this isn't a 5 stars, but I had a lot of fun, and I would love more stories with Carter and John. I guess, spoiler alert, you know, John. But I mean, it's not hard to tell who he's gonna pick out of the 3 guys that are hounding after him, right? And John was very charming and also like sassy pants. Like he was like, what did you see in Trevor? What a loser. And he's like, yeah, you went on this trip to get back together with him, right? And Carter's like, no, I didn't. No, I didn't. Wait, did I? Did I? Wait, let me think. No. So that was fun. The mystery was a lot of fun. Both separate mysteries were a lot of fun, and I think the clues were laid out pretty well. So I enjoyed it. I enjoyed this. And this is one of the authors that like I really have grown to like adore, and like I want to read all their back stories that I haven't read, and like if they come out and when they come out with like new stuff. It's just one of the authors like I read it automatically even without like reading the synopsis. Just this one, Jordan L. Hawk, I do that with too. I'm like, I loved your stuff so far, let me check it out, you know. I didn't even read the synopsis. So sometimes I don't, and I find I have more fun because sometimes the synopsis can give stuff away, which I think is odd choice, but you know, whatever. The second book is the RPG lit or progression lit. It was 446 pages. It was also a 4-star, and it is Dungeon Crawler Carl Book 1 by Matt Dinniman. Now, I've heard this book, it's 4 stars. I've heard this book talked about so much, not only on like the fantasy booktube side of things, but also my friends. My one friend's like, oh yeah, I read that. It's a lot of fun. Blah, blah. And I was like, all right, let me check it out. First of all, haven't even heard of progression or RPG lit until like last year when I started hearing about this book. So I was like, oh, that's a fascinating genre. I play Dungeons and Dragons. I play Pathfinder. I play Call of Cthulhu, Kids on Bikes, Cobalt Ate My Baby. I play all those things with my friends. If you don't know, those are tabletop role-playing games. I do all that with my friends. This could be fun. I did have a lot of fun in this. I will say that I wasn't in it until page 150, and then I was freaking in it, you know? I did not put it down once I hit that point. Like, to that point, I was like, okay, I get the humor. I get the commentary on capitalism, on social media and clout. I get it, you know. This is a fun way to put it. So far, you know, and first person narrative, I don't like it all that much, but I found myself like forcibly putting that aside because I want to try out new genres, right? So I forcibly put that aside, and I enjoyed myself. The humor, some of the jokes made me laugh, some of the jokes missed because, you know, humor's subjective, but going in it, I guess, spoiler alert, foot fetish, not by Carl, someone's foot fetishing him, which, I mean, is hysterical. I don't know why, like, the AI controlling the game, like, having a crush on Carl's feet made me giggle. I'll have to dissect that later. I don't know what that means, but whatever. Because the dungeon is run by an AI that's pretty funny, and everything goes on. I know people love Princess Donut. I get it. My sister had a cat, a Persian named Ash. I love that cat. Like, I get it. And if a cat can talk, yeah, Princess Donut, I get it. But like, at the end of the book, I found myself being like, oh, Mr. Mongo, oh my gosh, that's gonna be so much fun. I'm not gonna explain what that means because if you're interested in trying it, like this genre, and interested in trying this book, I don't want to spoil that because that for me was a really fun moment. There are a lot of references in it, which I did not mind. Even a reference to like the Goa'uld from the Stargate show and movie, which that's towards the end. So I was like, oh, fascinating. Another enemy has entered the chat, kind of a thing. And what I really liked it at page 150 was that there were so many threads created, right? And I was like, I am interested in all these tiny little questions Carl has about this whole big thing. And I can't wait to get these threads, the threads to attach back and find out the answers to it, right? And I have all of them written down. I can't wait to find the answers to it. And if the books, I don't even care if it takes till like book 12 for me to get the answers. I don't care about that. I just need the answers to come. So I really hope these aren't going to be plot lines that are dropped because like I am fascinated. Frank Q and Maggie May, I want to know what happens. Hopefully they die horribly because at page 150 they show up and they do horrible things, and then later on you find out that's not even the most depraved thing they have done, especially Maggie May. So I'm like, they're enemies. I hope they die horribly. And this book, my friend said, because my friend and I were talking about it, and my other friend was like, oh, you know, I really wanted to check that out. It's been my TBR forever. So he started reading it. And he commented, hold on, let me quote him correctly. So he said, Dungeon Crawler Carl is both hilarious and horrifying. And my other friend, who's already probably like on the latest book that came out, was like, sounds about right. Yeah. That that is the perfect way to describe it. It is horrifying and hilarious. The commentary on greed. I also found like the interesting commentary on social media and the monster of chasing clout and how that could change you, because part of the game you get followers, favorites, patrons, things like that. So not only it not only that, but it makes you want to do things flashier or bigger to get people to follow you. I think Princess Donut really falls into that kind of trap, which makes sense because she is a show cat that learns speech. So I understand where that's going. I do like their friendship quite a bit. I know people are like, protect Princess Donut at all costs. I like Princess Donut. I don't know if she's my favorite yet. She's kind of head to head with Carl, because I find his emotional roller coaster going through this very real. So there's this crazy fantasy world going on around him where like he has to like kill goblins and kobolds, and this AI is like hitting on his feet, and like all this going on, and this turns out like the universe, the world isn't what he thought it was, and the universe isn't how he thinks it is, and like he's just trying to survive. And I found his emotions so human and so grounding, especially when he tries to help other crawlers. Like he's not losing his humanity, and he repeats to himself, "You're not going to break me. You're not going to break me." And I hope that's true. I really do, because man, does this dungeon want to break the contestants. You know, it's like a very Hunger Games, Truman Show, Dungeons and Dragons mashup that I found compelling. I enjoyed myself immensely. My friend who's read like all of the books so far said that he reads this kind of genre a lot, and this is the more accessible type of progression or RPG lit. Like it's not that heavy with stats and everything like that. Which, cool. I don't know. I think any heavier, I probably would have been out. But also, I play tabletop role-playing games, so I get what those stats mean, and you know, stuff like that. And even people playing video games would probably understand what's going on. So I don't know if you have to be a certain type of nerd to enjoy it. I think the book does a good job. Like if you've never played a video game or even heard of a video game, because apparently you've lived in a cave your whole life, and welcome to the dumpster fire that is society. How do you do? I think you could pick this up and still enjoy it. Agatha is a fascinating mystery that I can't wait for the final, probably really dramatic fallout of that assuming it's not going to happen for a couple books. Have I already downloaded the second book of this series on my Kindle? Yes, I have. It's probably going to be a couple weeks before I read it, because I do want to space it out a little bit, because even though I really want to know what happens, because the book stops before the third level and I want to know what happens, I don't want to get tired of it, you know, so I'm going to try to space it out a little bit. And that's the thing, because this is a dungeon crawl, so I was worried it would get repetitive and boring. It is not repetitive and boring. There is so much going on. It's not just him fighting these monsters. There's so much going on different levels, and him desperately trying to just claw and hold on to his humanity. And Carl is not the perfect like hero. He loses his temper during a moment, which becomes viral and makes his life both easier and worse at the same time. Again, a commentary on fame, especially with social media fame. So like, I'm enjoying the references. I'm enjoying the deeper meanings that this book is very, not subtly sprinkling. It's kind of refreshing that this isn't like an undertone. It's said straight out, capitalism, the worst. Hey, when people get obsessed with social media and clout, the worst. And when people get famous, it changes them, and that's the worst. So like, it's not subtle. It's like, hey, these are the deeper meanings in this. Deal with it. And I'm like, you know, I kind of find that refreshing. So yes, RPG lit, at least dipping my toe in it with Dungeon Crawler Carl. So we'll see. I had fun. So I don't want to, but it's time for me to get back to the real world. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you later. Bye.